I'm Jeannie.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Nikki from Tyrion's Landing,
a podcast member of the GonnaGeek Network.
Just like the one you're listening to now.
The opinions expressed are those of each individual.
Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
And get ready, because geekiness begins in
3,
2,
1.
This is it. The part of your week where you get to put your headphones on, relax, and listen to a bunch of geeks geek out about geeky things. They're passionate.
I'm an IT guy. You should never delete. Most of the time you delete, you regret deleting.
They rage.
You guys are being like hypersensitive with your point to be offended. Oh, he deleted his Twitter account. Oh, I'm mad. What?
And sometimes they're even funny.
Tell your wife that I said hello again and sorry I couldn't be there tonight.
That's okay. Your wife says hi too.
Let me emphasize that. Sometimes. Welcome to the GonnaGeek.com podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 115 of the GonnaGeek.com podcast. We are here once again live as usual at GonnaGeek.com/live. We're here every Tuesday at 5:45 p.m. Pacific. That's 8:45 p.m. Eastern. And today I have the full crew. That's right. We've got myself, Stargate Pioneer.
What's up? Getting my space geek on, guys. Woohoo!
Chris Farrell.
Hey. What the hell's a space geek on?
And that voice that you hear is the one and only JS. Are you ready for the reveal? That's right. JS is on video tonight. Whoa!
The French-Canadian sensation in all his mustache glory.
Yes. JS, welcome to the video club. So live listener and viewer, if you're having any issues with this stream, you can blame JS.
It cannot handle the sheer sexiness of the French-Canadian sensation is what you're saying.
Absolutely. But we are not just the four of us, but you've heard us give a call out to him several weeks in the chat usually. That's right. We have the one, the only Suncast from where, Suncast?
Michigan.
That's right. And you may have heard of Suncast on GFQ Network. You can find him on Twitter at Suncast. Suncast, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good. Really happy to have you on here tonight. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even though we're not from Queens, we welcome you anyway.
Well, we used to have this thing on the Guys from Queens Network because we're called the Guys from Queens. Well, we shortened it to GFQ. But one of our slogans was, if one of us moves to Long Island, we're screwed.
I like that. But let's go ahead and move into the news. Should we do that?
Let's do it.
All right, news time. All right, let's go ahead and throw it over to the guest of honor first with your news point. Suncast, what do you got on deck for the news today?
So this week we had a story from a bunch of places talking about new images that NASA has released of the Apollo missions. I've been a big fan of the Apollo missions, and so anytime I can get hands on new images from the Apollo missions, I'm always geeking out about them. And NASA released about 8,400 new images from the Apollo missions, Apollo 7 all the way up to Apollo 17 on Flickr. It's just amazing the amount of quality images that they've uploaded. They started out with Apollo 7, and they took these film magazines that they had, just like film negatives, and they rescanned and digitally retouched each one of these.
You mean the already retouched pictures of Apollo, right?
I see what you're saying.
But yeah, I'm pretty much a big NASA fan, and especially the Apollo missions, just because I was always interested in going to the moon and the moon in general. And so just seeing these unreleased images and just how high quality they are, it's just absolutely amazing to me.
Yeah, that's the incredible thing. I'm scrolling through some right now, and I'm just like, whoa.
I know.
Yeah, they have they obviously of course have Apollo 11 images on there. They also have some from Apollo 13, which is the failed Apollo mission that they had. But they also have other Apollo missions that when they landed on the moon, they took more images besides just Apollo 11. So they've got those as well.
So have you been down to either Houston or Florida and seen one of the Saturn V boosters?
I have not. I've been to the museum that's in Alabama. Huntsville, Alabama is the one that I went to once.
Yeah.
That's a cool place. I think they had the Blackbird SR-71 there that I got to see, which was really cool. But that was like eons ago.
Yeah, I think they do. I don't remember. It's been years since I was last in Huntsville.
Anytime you get a chance to go to something like that, you got to go because it's just so cool to see all the planes and history that they've got. There's a museum here in Michigan that I haven't gotten to yet.
Funny story. I was in Orlando the last week of the last shuttle launch, but I left the Friday before the launch. It was very sad.
Dude.
Very sad.
You know, I was in Tucson several years back, and I got a chance to go to, I think it was it Pima Airspace Museum? Anyways, it was a lot of fun, and you know, I'm not even American, as you listener may know, I'm Canadian.
Well, you are American. You're North American.
That's true. I'm North American. I am not a resident of the United States of America.
Of the Americas.
And I still thought that it was really, really cool going up to what was a retired Air Force One. I thought that was really neat.
If you get the chance, you should go check out the National Air and Space Museum, the Smithsonian in D.C. No, it's not National Air. I'm getting them confused now. I just realized
the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. There's two of them. There's one in Dulles.
Yeah.
What's it?
Yeah, there's one in Ohio also.
That's the National Museum of the United States Air Force.
Museums throughout the country that specialize in aeronautical and space type of stuff. I think there's also one in New Mexico and another in California that have a lot of aeronautical artifacts.
And Boeing has their own museum up in Seattle. Houston has a museum at the Johnson Space Center. Of course, Kennedy has their stuff. So lots of stuff going on. But you said you were a fan of Apollo. What is your favorite Apollo mission?
Of course, it's Apollo 11. Why wouldn't it be? They landed on the moon. That was the first time. It was just, to me, it's just so amazing if you think about the technology that they had back then and you compare it to the technology that we have today. The fact that our smartphones are more powerful than what they had for the Apollo missions. That to me, the fact that they were able to launch these rockets and land on the moon and do all these really amazing things is just astounding to me.
The tracking chip in my dog has more computer power than the Apollo missions had.
That's the scary thing.
Plus, I'm a big fan of Stanley Kubrick too. So, you know.
The director of the moon landings, of course.
Sorry, JS, I didn't think you were clear enough with your joke earlier.
I don't think they understand that they didn't actually land on the moon. It's retouched pictures.
Oh, JS, you're the worst. But no, Suncast, I'm so glad that you brought this up today because this is something that I'd seen somebody on the weekend posted on their Facebook, and I just loved it. I spent quite a few minutes. Because, you know, I got a kid, so that's all I can afford. But spend quite a bit of time.
Of the moon alone are just astounding if you look at it. Because you normally just look up in the sky and it's just this round thing. You don't understand that it's got this topography that you don't realize when you're just looking at the moon until you see these images.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joke aside, I have to say it's one of the most beautiful things. It's the best human achievement I think we have ever made up till now, of course. I mean, we landed someone on the moon. It's a technical achievement. It shows the human strength. It's a shame. I mean, people won't admit it, but it was actually fueled by, let's be honest, they wanted to make rockets to shoot nuclear missiles. I mean, let's not hide that. I think everybody is going to admit to that. It wasn't to beat the Russians. It was to beat the Russians of making missiles that can go around the world. But that being said, they still put some. I mean, you have to be brave to put yourself in a tin can and land on a moon. You know what I mean? That's just nuts. I mean, they're heroes. They're world heroes. They're not just American heroes. They're world heroes. Humanity heroes. That's
Absolutely.
my tangent.
I agree. But moving on to the next news point, Chris, what do you got on your list this week?
Well, so we go from the moon to my complaining about TV things getting rebooted. I'm not sure that
Why are
this
you
is the best
complaining?
transition.
It's good stuff.
Oh man, so let's just get into the meat of it. I don't know if you guys
It's
have
just
heard,
like
but
Star Wars Episode 1, Chris. It's good stuff.
Oh man, come on.
Why do you have to do that? So I don't know if you guys had heard, Fox was talking about rebooting the A-Team, and then today the news came out that CBS wants to reboot another classic 80s TV series, and me being a child of the 80s, I'm semi-intrigued, but a little scared at the same time. CBS wants to bring MacGyver back to the small screen. Do you guys remember MacGyver?
Yes, of course.
Yes. MacGyver
It's
is
funny you
amazing.
mention that because that's actually one of the shows that I'm rewatching on Netflix because Netflix has all, I think, 7 or 8 seasons on it. So I'm rewatching it on Netflix right now.
Yeah, I think it's 7 or 8 seasons. I can't remember. It's 7 seasons. I apologize. But they want to do a reimagining of the TV series using the same name. They're going to follow a 20-something MacGyver as he gets recruited into a clandestine organization where he uses his knack for solving problems in unconventional ways to help prevent disasters from happening. So basically everything we saw in the 80s, just modernized, but it's not going to be quite as cool now. I mean, now you got like smartphones and things like that in your pocket. You can be like, oh, I don't know how to do this. Let me look it up on Google real quick, instead of being like, I have a turkey baster, a stick of gum, and a pencil. How do I do this?
Come on, you got to do it fast. You got to do it in a time. You can't Google it. You got to make it happen. Okay,
wait,
so
SP,
Chris, question
SP,
for you.
Don't you get 4G LTE on your cell phone? It's pretty damn fast to pull up a YouTube video to show you how to do something.
But then you have to watch it, and some of those videos are too long. The bomb will go off first. Okay, so question for you. Who would you cast as a young 25-year-old Richard Dean Anderson?
His kid? I don't know. I have no idea, honestly.
I mean, Chris Pine? Who would you put in
No,
there?
you're not going to get guys from the big screen to come and be MacGyver on TV right
You need
now.
a hockey
Why
player.
not?
You need an ex-hockey player. That's what you need. An ex-Canadian
It's
hockey
true.
player.
Well, it's
Very
so
true.
weird because you're going to have, I'm assuming this is going to be targeted towards people that are in the millennial generation. So I don't know.
I don't know,
Okay,
man.
actually,
It's a CBS
let me
show,
say-
so it means it's a crime procedural targeted at the like 30 to 50-year-old demographic.
So-
Pretty much
so I
everyone
was
Well,
just
look what
gonna
they
say-
did with CSI Cyber. Look how well that came out. Look at some of their other shows.
CSI or Louisiana or whatever is it called now? New Orleans?
NCIS New Orleans. That's what you're talking about with Scott Bakula, my hero.
The show already exists on TV. It is called Scorpion, and I'm not watching it anymore.
That's an awful show.
I hope
God,
so.
I can't believe that show got a second season.
I can't either. So in this article, I missed something here. I guess in 1994, they did 2 TV movies of it, and then later Paramount tried to do a spin-off of Young MacGyver with Jared Padalecki, who's been on Supernatural for the last 11
You know what?
years.
They did that because they did Young Indiana Jones and it worked.
Yeah, that's exactly what I figured it was.
It's because of the Young Indiana Jones.
Look, here's the thing. They're doing all these reboots or taking movies and making them into TV shows and reboots, and that's the new trend in Hollywood. So everyone's jumping on it. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah,
a year
it's
ago,
a good
if someone had
bandwagon.
said, if someone had said a year ago they're bringing back MacGyver, what would we've all said?
We would have said,
Yeah,
go
that'll
make it-
happen.
no.
We would have said that'll happen when they reboot the X-Files.
And Aaron,
It's
Oh,
not a
we would've said-
reboot.
Or when they reboot the moon landing.
Well, they're going to do that with Mars.
Yeah, I went there.
you did.
Oh man, I
It's
don't
just
know.
one of those things that you have to do and be very careful with because there's so many reboots that fail, and that it's already such an iconic show, especially with Richard Dean Anderson, that you're almost setting yourself up for failure by rebooting it.
So if you reboot MacGyver, do you bring Richard Dean Anderson back in a mentor-like role or something like that? Be the guy that
No,
runs
no.
the
So
organization.
Have you
Cool.
seen him lately?
No,
He
as something
looks
else.
Oh, I know.
As
awful.
something.
He
no,
does
he'd
look
be
awful.
coming back as the old guy.
I'm not saying he'd be MacGyver anymore, but
Yeah,
he's still
no, he would.
he's a little rough.
He'd be the handler.
He's certainly
Yeah,
not
he
Jack
has to be the
McNeil
handler.
anymore either.
Okay, but let's talk about this for a minute because this is something that in all of these reboots, these people are coming back, but they're doing a really good job of using them in different roles, and it's fun. Like The Flash, isn't that fun being his dad?
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's all linked together.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
they're
think
bringing
it's
back
linked
together.
all,
No,
they're
there's
bringing
no way.
back all
There's
the
no-
old actors onto the show. They're definitely going to do a time travel season at some point in time, to that point in time, to the
I
1990s.
think it's just flavor.
Let's go in the weeds a sec real quick. We know season 1 ended with the concept of the multiverse happening. So it very well could be that the John Wesley Ship Flash TV show exists on Earth 37, whereas the Flash TV series we know now exists like Earth 38 or something like that. Oh, I'm not wrong. We've all read Crisis on Infinite Earths, or at least heard of it, I'm sure, where they did that same kind of stuff. I'm jaded. I'm sorry.
You know, I'm jaded as well, but about a different topic. And this topic is Amazon. Amazon has been my love since it became half decent up here in Canardia. It was so crappy for so long, but now they've managed to get my first year of Prime membership, and I am loving it. And then they had to go and be like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go and look out for ourselves and forget that we're actually primarily a product selling service. So what we're going to do instead is just essentially remove all competing devices from our Amazon Stream service, which is going to be the Chromecast, as well as the Apple TV. Both have been axed.
Yeah, that's bad.
That frustrates me.
That's bad.
Not until the end of October.
Yeah,
that's the fear. By the way, this exactly is the fear that people had with Walmart. They thought that they were going to control products, that they were going to start controlling products.
Yeah, but still,
and block and like monopolize.
It's just it's just so obvious that they're nobody's liking their streaming device, or not enough people are liking it and seeing the value. So this is how they're going to try to up the ante without just making it better.
Wait. Are you saying that nobody likes the Fire TV?
Fire TV's awesome. I have one.
I'm saying that most people don't like the Fire TV.
So the part you're missing
I don't
here,
know
though,
that
is
I buy that. I'm one of those guys that has a Fire TV, and I really like the fact that I can sideload applications onto this thing.
I'm not saying that it's a bad device. I'm just saying that it hasn't taken off like some of the other things, Chromecast and Apple TV.
I'd say it's just as successful as a Chromecast. Chromecast had that initial hype when it first came out because it was such a low-cost entry to barrier that it took off. Then I think, after that initial hype, after everybody got one and tried to play with it, they saw that, this thing doesn't work all that well. It's really hard to kind of use and stream cast to your TV with it. So it really kind of died off, where I don't think you had the same case with the Fire TV.
I gave my Chromecast away. I still have my Fire TV stick.
Yeah.
Same with me.
There's part of this I think you're also missing. As part of what's going on here, it's the ongoing squabble between Google and Apple and Amazon here. Because, for instance, I can't get Amazon Video streaming on my Apple TV. I can't get it on my Chromecast. I can't get it on my Android TV. So part of this is a power play here to be like, okay, we're going to yank those down because we all want to play fair. Now, the real thing that's really strange here, though, is if you remember when Google put the Chromecast out, they put the API and all the stuff out for here's how you make your apps Chromecast compatible. Amazon could do it in a heartbeat if they wanted to. There's no barrier there other than dropping in some code.
Okay, but
that's the thing that's
I'm
been missed out
about worldwide, though, because I know up here in Canada, Amazon Fire, useless up here, but Chromecast and Apple TV, they are useful. So I think,
but Fire doesn't do just Amazon though. You can do Netflix, you can do Hulu, you can do Sling TV. It does various different apps. I mean, I don't use a ton of the Amazon-based stuff on it, but I have one set up on the TV in my kitchen, and I stream Netflix and music and stuff all the time. It's just a competing service, much like the Roku and things like that. The thing that's being overlooked is Amazon kept the Roku on sale. The Roku, which you can get the Amazon Instant Video app on. So what they're doing is they're pulling these devices off of their store that you can't access their video content on.
Now, there's another reason why Amazon is doing this, by the way, and that's because Apple and Google charge for in-app purchases. They take a cut of 30% for any in-app purchase, and I think that's something that Amazon doesn't want to compete with because they have their own Amazon payment system.
Right, and we've seen it happen already. Remember when Amazon bought Comixology? It was probably about a year ago. One of the first things they did was rip out in-app payments on in-app purchases, rather, out of the Comixology app and say you have to go to the web because they didn't want to give that 30% cut to Apple. So there's multiple pieces here.
Amazon saying, hey, we don't want to compete with these applications or these devices that are similar to the Fire TV. They have other reasons besides just competition for not wanting to support or sell those devices.
Right. So I think part of what we have here is a standoff that's basically like, okay, we're not going to sell these. And we all know Amazon is basically pretty much the sales front for everything. If people want stuff, they're going to Amazon, they're looking it up, and if it's a good price, they're going to buy it. So you take these things down and make, look, let's play fair. We want our app on your devices. Let's make it happen. And I think that's part of what's happening here is they're going to take them down, and there's going to be a pinch because if you look at the top selling electronics on Amazon on a regular basis, the Chromecast is generally in the top 10 and the Apple TV in the top 15 of the best selling electronics.
It just bugs the heck out of me that Amazon is known so much for their product selling service, and for them to go back on the diehard customers, not even the diehard customers, such a large portion of their customer base, it just frustrates me. It frustrates me.
I was with you on that on Sunday because we talked about this in ATGN and I kind of ranted about it. And after my rant, I kind of stopped and thought about it. And I went, I kind of see the reasoning they're doing it. As a consumer, it certainly sucks, but I can understand why as a company they're making this move right now because I think they see a long-term benefit potentially.
Right.
Now, I'm no tech expert. I'm just a dude on the street, though.
Fair enough. But obviously, you guys have all just disagreed with me today on that. But we'll wait till the podcast gets posted, and we'll see all the fans chime in and tell me how awesome I am because I know that well.
When you edit in this line, I agree with Steven.
There you go.
After everything you say.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's important to note that Chris, who claims to have a technical degree from West Virginia, has said that he is not a technical expert.
No, I like how you said claims. We have no proof.
Caveat here. I'll go grab my diplomas if you want me to, but my degrees are not in like gadgets and things like that. It's in computer hardware and biometrics. This has nothing to do with biometrics.
I think that's what a Chromecast or a Fire TV is.
I write code to make hardware pieces talk to each other.
I think that's what streaming engineer. Devices do.
No. You have software engineers do a lot of that work to make that happen.
Okay.
I'm not a software engineer.
I think my point is made.
Your point is not made.
All right, well, let's go ahead and round off the news with the one, the only rocket scientist. I can't wait to hear what you've got in store since Suncast took the rocket science news of the week.
Okay, so did anybody go see The Martian this weekend?
Me.
I have
That's
not
it,
seen
Chris? Suncast?
Nope.
I've not seen it. I wanted to see it, but I have not seen it.
Best movie. Oh, it's great. Way better than Apollo 13. So anyway, I saw this movie. I'm going to stay spoiler free. It is a great movie. I highly recommend that you play hooky from work even to go see it. It is that good. So the question, though, is how accurate is the science in the movie to reality? So staying spoiler free, I will say that the scenes and the overhead are very accurate. The scenes were meticulously redone to really depict a Martian surface. The overhead was actual Martian overhead of the satellites that are orbiting around Mars. So it's all authentic. You have pieces of hardware that are talking to each other that actually you can actually do that. This is in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler, but he actually grows potatoes on Mars, which is completely possible to do that in the store in the Martian soil. And I have some issues though. First of all, the Martian atmosphere leads to a couple of things, and that is not portrayed as accurate. And I will just leave it like that because I don't want to spoil the movie. Another thing, though, inherent with all space travel, including the Apollo missions that we were talking about before, is the intense cosmic radiation that astronauts are subjected to. Now, Mars does not have an atmosphere, so it does not have an atmosphere to protect against radiation. It also does not have a large magnetic field, and that is the force field that has kept life on Earth from cosmic radiation, and that we're not growing 3 hands or 2 heads, or, you know, if you're in West Virginia, I guess, getting a degree or something like that. But so you have radiation that will affect you. And I think it's unstated, but I do think it is portrayed in the movie, but I'll just leave it until you go see it. I won't say exactly what. And the other thing that I will say, knowing space navigation like I do, and orbital mechanics and rendezvous operations, I think that was not portrayed. However, the spacecraft, the Hermes in The Martian, was portrayed accurately. So all in all, it's a very great movie to go see, very possible on the totality of it, and I think it's possible as well for somebody to survive on Mars for 400, 500 days. So gives me 2 thumbs up. Great movie.
So it was a really good movie, and they've done some interviews with Andy Weir, and he wrote some stuff in the back of his book all about the science of it and the research he'd done on it. And it's fantastic, the level of research he'd done. And when he was posting it online, he had folks from NASA that are writing back to him like, hey, what you wrote here, it's not quite feasible. You might want to clean it up. So he did a lot of revisions based off of information that employees of NASA sent him. It was really cool to read. The book is fantastic. The movie, also great.
Yeah. That's me, director of NASA. NASA. Excuse me. NASA.
The secret NASA. The secret space program. That's what it is.
That's Barney Stinson.
I cannot wait to see this movie. My wife just told me today that she has agreed to go see this movie this weekend.
What
it's
changed her mind? Because she said not only no, but H no last weekend.
It might be the fact that it's broadcasting live right now, and I know she's watching, and I'm hoping that if I just play it up like she said yes, she won't have the guts to say no, because now there's a whole audience of people who have heard about it. So that's that's my goal with this. But no, I really do look forward to seeing it at some point. I've heard really good things. The only downside that I've heard of is that you Americans spent more money to bring Matt Damon back. So way to go.
Not only once, but 3 times now.
Yeah, not twice, but thrice. Just because I wanted to say it thrice.
But that's going to go ahead and round off our news this week. Let's go into a special segment that we've got led by our guest. This is one that we haven't played for a while. Are you ready for it? Here we go.
For 7 years, one individual taught us that with the right help from our animal guide, we can learn all sorts of things about ourselves that we never knew.
Akuchi Moya. We are far from the sacred places of our grandfathers.
Or you could just learn about us and pretend these facts belong to you. Yep, it's time for another round of Know Your Geek.
That's right, Know Your Geek. This week is the Suncast edition. Those audience members playing at home, what you may not realize is the rules. The rules of this competition is that what happens is our guest of honor, Suncast, has prepared a series of questions, and he will ask us said questions, and all of us will debate, eventually coming to a winner, eventually coming to somebody winning, unless it is a tie, which usually happens.
Me and Chris winning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what you
Janice
mean.
and I are going to game the system again.
All right, so Suncast, I will...
Bald people, they stick together.
I will turn it over to you, Suncast, to lead this. Go ahead and tell us your first question.
All right, so my first question is a multiple choice question. What was my first podcast about? Was it A, iPhone, B, Android, C, BlackBerry, or D, Windows Mobile?
Oh,
That's obviously not D, because nobody cares about Windows Mobile. I'm sorry, I had to take the shot.
His first podcast. I'm actually going to go with Windows Mobile.
I'm going with BlackBerry just for comedic purposes.
Okay. SP?
I'll go B.
And JS, what do you got?
Windows Mobile.
All right. So,
Wow, 2 of you chose Windows Mobile. I'm shocked.
what is it?
The answer is C, BlackBerry.
Oh.
So Chris is right.
I had a feeling.
So Chris is in the lead. All right. So Suncast, go with your second question. Oh, that's awesome, SP.
I have hosted a Big Brother recap podcast. True or false?
I'm going
Totally true.
True.
Totally true.
I'll go true.
I'm gonna go false
And-
just to balance the play field.
All right. So Chris, SP, and myself
I'm playing the odds.
said true. JS said false.
I'm playing the odds.
Go ahead, Suncast.
The answer is true.
Yeah.
I have hosted a Big Brother podcast, and it was on the GFQ network, and I had to do the intro with it. If you've ever watched Big Brother, you know it has that stupid, cheesy, big voice guy in the beginning of Big Brother, and I had to do that for the podcast itself. So every time that we did a podcast, I actually did a recap with a pitch filter on my voice.
Previously on Big Brother.
Yeah, I'm sure Steven knows it because he's our reality TV junkie on the network. What you love The Bachelor, right?
Absolutely admit that I
Biggest
watch
loser,
Big Brother,
man.
Big Brother, and
Biggest
Big Brother
loser.
Canada. I watch both of
Biggest
those.
loser.
Because
I like
they're
it.
all losers, really.
I'm surprised they're both still on the air.
All right, Suncast, take us to question number 3. And what's the score, SP?
The score is Chris has 2, SP and Steven have 1, JS.
I gotta catch up. But that's okay. That's okay.
All right, Suncast, question number 3.
True or false? I was an on-air personality at a radio station before graduating high school.
True.
I'm going
True.
false.
I'm going true.
I'm going false.
I'm gonna go false as well on this one.
High five, Canadian brother.
Well, 2 of you are wrong, and 2 of you are correct.
Chris,
Funny
we
how
got
that
it.
works.
The answer is true.
Oh,
Shoot!
good for you. How
The
old
high
are you?
school I went to had a FM radio station broadcasting at 200 watts. So, like, it was awesome because at the end of my senior year, I had like an elective so I could do whatever class I wanted. So I just ended up being on the radio for a class.
That's awesome. I wish we'd had something like that when I was in high
I
school.
know. I was
That'd
so
been
jealous
fun.
of people like that. That's why I have this stuff now.
You know, that's one of the things that got me so hooked on broadcasting and podcasting in general. If it wasn't for something like that, I don't think I ever would have been into podcasting.
That's awesome.
My high school at the time had Zippo, nada, nothing. It's got a lot now.
All right, question number 4. Go ahead.
I need a point here, man.
I'm secretly a bigger fan of telenovelas than sci-fi TV.
I gotta go false again. I gotta
False.
hope. I gotta go
false
false.
on that one. False on that
I'm
one.
going false.
You know what? No,
Oh.
wrong. I'm gonna go yes on that one. Playing the odds. I changed for yes.
Go ahead.
And the answer is true.
JS gets on the
JS is
board.
on the board.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
lighting
JS.
setup is going. Bye.
Oh wow, tell us a little about that.
Not really anything to say.
You know, I'll bet you it's the same as Sean and I are closet Hallmark Channel junkies.
Oh man, the Hallmark. You know, they filmed a Hallmark movie here like 2 years ago, and I went down to the setup of it, and it looked absolutely terrible. It looks horrible. So
It's feel-good movies. It's the total opposite of the Lifetime channel, which is man killing. I mean, 65 ways to kill a man every single day.
all right, Sun Question. What's question? Sun Question. That's your new name. Sun Question. What's your what do you got going on
All right.
next?
I am a fan of Star Wars, but not Star Trek.
False.
That's false because you can't.
False.
You can't like Star Wars. It's not good.
Trying to think. We've talked about something with somebody in the chat. Was it him?
No, you can't not like Star Trek. I mean, Star Trek is officially
says the guy wearing Mr. Spock's
Star Trek
uniform shirt,
which is totally cool, by the way.
Yeah.
I need to get
Star
one
Trek
of
is
those.
better.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Star
go.
Trek is better.
I have a feeling it's like all gonna be true, just because it's like I just want to tell you about me, but I'm gonna go false.
No, there's gotta be a troll pick, and this is the troll pick. This is the troll pick.
So what do we got? We got me false, JS false, Chris is
true,
and SP is.
I think false because it's.
Wait, how was the question?
What did you say?
Because now I don't remember.
I am
a fan of Star Wars, but not Star Trek.
Yeah, false.
No.
I said false.
False.
No.
False.
Okay, so we're all saying false.
And of course, you would be correct because it is false.
Yes.
All right.
I think we talked about this in the chat room.
I think at a certain age, you get to the point where you're over with that fight, and you just accept that both are good sci-fi. You just have a preferred one.
I agree. I think
I
that
mean,
it's
let's
a
be
dumb
honest.
fight.
We all own 6 copies of the 18 DVD reprints, and we all own like everything, and like every time it comes out, we'll buy it. It's just we have a preference. I think that's what it is.
Plus, we did determine a long time ago that anything in Star Trek can kick anything in Star Wars' ass. We did determine that. That's right. So, next question. Question number 6, Suncast.
All right, my all-time favorite sci-fi TV show is The X-Files.
Oh man, I'm gonna go with yes on that because it is good.
I'm going true. Actually, I gotta play the odds here because JS and I are behind. I gotta go false. I'm
going true.
Chris?
Oh no, he just said he was a huge fan of MacGyver though. Is
But is that really sci-fi? That's realistic TV. That's non-fiction.
Yeah, who can make a nuclear bomb out of a rubber band? It's confusing.
Yeah.
I want to say yes on cast, but I think I pegged you as a different sort of guy, so I'm going to go false.
No, I say yes. The X-Files is a good show. The show is good. The first movie was good. The second 2 movies are not even. I mean, somebody else. It's like Chinese made.
So JS is true. I'm false. SP is false, and Chris is
true.
All right, Suncast, reveal.
False.
Ah,
Woo-hoo! Damn. I think I said. Did I say false? I think I said false.
Oh, you
Play
said
back
true.
the tape.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, I think you did say true. So it's me and
I said
JS.
false. JS
No,
said
he
true.
said false.
JS said true.
No,
I said true.
Yeah,
I
there
said
you go.
true.
I said opposite of JS. And Suncast, you said you had one more or no?
I got a couple more if you want.
All right, go ahead.
It's
Go
good
ahead.
because Chris and I are tied at the lead at 4. JS has got 3, and Steven has
I got
2.
nothing.
I can throw a really odd one at you.
Sounds good. Go ahead.
Let's do it.
All right, so, and I'm going to try to do this without laughing because it's such a stupid question.
My favorite kind.
I was more or less sexually assaulted once while working at a nightclub.
Yes. Sexual assault. It happened.
Here's my concern over
You're
this.
rooting for me to be sexually assaulted?
Yes, it happened.
That's so mean.
It happened.
Okay, so here's my concern over this question. He says I was more or less. I think it's either you are or you're not. So I feel like that's the setup word.
The thing is, he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
You're saying
he doesn't know.
He was roofied. He was roofied.
Yeah, I think he's not sure because it was probably a really hot woman, and he's like, I don't know what to do about this.
Or it ended up being like a 75-year-old woman, and he was like, maybe I am into the older women. Like I don't know, So
I think he was trying to work his way through college, and I will say true.
I'm going true.
Yeah.
He says it's such a stupid question, but I think it's in here because it's true. So I think we're all going true. Go ahead with the answer.
It is true.
So I get the feeling there's a story here that has to be told.
Explain it. Explain, please.
Explain the more or less, please.
All right, so I've worked for a bunch of radio stations, and occasionally we do these nightclub gigs where we have to broadcast live from such and such club. And so I had this regular gig at this one club that they did 80s music. It was generally an older crowd. And so at the end of the night, I'm done with my broadcast. I'm packing everything up. I'm on my hands and knees, unplugging all the equipment from the power strip. And this drunk chick literally just hops on me like I'm a freaking horse.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, what the hell?
You are a stud. You are a horse. Come on, get in that mindset.
No idea what was going on.
Wow, that is definitely a story. I don't know. Do you want to end it on that, or do you have one more? I think we should end it there. I think we'll end it with the tie. What do we think about that?
Chris and SP have a tie.
Chris and SP got the tie.
No. Oh, there's a tie. I'm cool.
Yeah, until we play these games, there has to be a tie.
All right. That's going to go ahead and wrap up this segment and this edition of Know Your Geek. Suncast, thank you very much for doing that. Let's roll in to our next segment, which is the highlight from the website.
Here at the GonnaGeek podcast, we've learned that it's important to recognize our shortcomings. Yes, that means we understand that right about now you're still itching for more geeky content, but you also can't tolerate to hear much more of us. Good news on both fronts, the podcast is almost over, and we want to send you some recommended geeky reading. Here is the highlight from the website.
This week's highlight from the website comes from the one, the only, Anthony Bachman. Anthony Bachman can be found on All Things Good and Nerdy, which is a podcast on the GonnaGeek network, one that Chris Farrell knows nothing about. This week's Bachman's best was Invincible 123. Invincible 123 was Bachman's best of the week, so I encourage you to go to GonnaGeek.com and read his reasonings for that. I always enjoy your articles, Anthony, and I hope that the listener enjoys them as much as I do.
The box.
But that's going to go ahead and take us to the end of the show. First off, let's turn it over to Suncast to promote whatever you would like. Suncast, anything you want to promote?
You can watch me on GFQ Network's Tech News Weekly. It's almost every Friday night at 3 o'clock. It's gfqnetwork.com. If you want to watch it live there, we also post it afterwards. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Suncast, but it's spelled with a K instead of a C.
Awesome. Chris, you got anything you want to plug?
The same thing I always plug.
Plug his mom, Chris. His mom.
I can't. I said I quit making those jokes. Yeah, I tried so hard.
He keeps baiting you every week, too.
So what I want to plug, and I'm trying real hard on to make a mom joke, is the rest of the awesome podcasts on the GonnaGeek Network. Go check them out over at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
That's awesome.
Or check out Steven's mom.
Oh! No! He slipped it in there.
It's ugly.
That's what she said.
Suncast, I'm sure Suncast. I'm just gonna overlay him over JS here because his look of disappointment for coming on this show right now is just too priceless. So, SP, what would you like to plug?
You know, we had the season premiere of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. last week, so we podcasted on Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., so boom, get that. And then this week, check out Starling Tribune and on the Arrow premiere, and as well the Flash premiere is out tonight as we're podcasting, so go check out Crimson Comet. So all those shows are back, and you got some great podcasts on the network to go listen to, so go listen to them. Listen.
Awesome. And JS, this is your first video plug, so there's got to be something that you want to show or sell, or maybe it's yourself.
Well, I don't know if I can show the pictures of me and your mom. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I'm allowed to do.
Why not? Leo Laporte has.
Oh no! Oh man, I'm not touching that. Not touching that. But
that's not what we all said yesterday.
You totally walked into that one.
That's going to go ahead and take us to the end of episode 115 of the GonnaGeek.com podcast. I am Stephen John Drew.
I'm the guy that got humped at a club.
I'm sorry I made a Steven's mom joke again.
I'm a rocket scientist.
And I'm the French-Canadian sensation. Star Trek is the shit.
Bye!
From everyone here at the GonnaGeek.com podcast, thanks for listening. If you like what you heard, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes. We encourage you to send your feedback by email to podcast@GonnaGeek.com. You can find all of our show history at GonnaGeek.com/official podcast. And while you're there, why not head over and check out all of the geeky podcasts on the Gonna Geek Network. The music heard on this show is by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com. Thanks for listening, and we will see you again next week.